Yeah, no, I'd fuck that movie. They named a street after Wes Anderson here in Austin.
In Austin? I guess
Yeah.
that makes sense.
He is weird.
Yeah.
Is he not from Texas? Because he loves everyone from Texas.
I don't know.
All the Wilsons
Let's
are.
see. Wes Anderson is from Houston, Texas. So maybe he should just fucking get a street named after him in fucking Houston, Texas, and go away forever.
Well, he probably has like Steve Zissou way up in Houston.
Yeah. Fucking. I hate Wes Anderson.
Yeah, you would have thought Bottle Rocket was genius in comparison.
Oh god, it's really that like fucking out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the most unhinged Wes Anderson movie he's ever made.
Ugh.
It's like to the max. You would have gone insane.
Yeah, no, thank you. I have to put everyone's faces. Because we're all frozen except for Murph. Everyone's here.
We're all good.
Hi everyone.
I mean, we're not good,
Yeah.
but like,
We're great.
Are we unfrozen at least?
I'm working on making that a reality.
A thing.
I'm unfrozen now. Everyone else is just not there. So
I feel like that's fine. We can work with that.
no. If my face has to be on this, and I can't roll my eyes at you guys, then you can't do the same to me.
What was I gonna say?
Something about movies, probably. I
Probably.
think we talk about movies.
Yeah, that's a fair guess. Oh, hey. No. Forgot again. Oh well, probably wasn't important. Is Derek commenting yet? Oh, he is.
Yeah, Derek's fucking chilling.
No audio. Love Wes Anderson. He's so good. Knock knock. Who's there? Me. Haha. Me too. Me who? Mephisto. Drink. Mephisto.
Yeah, Mephisto's out there. You guys are gonna love the rest of the show today. Drinking when you say Mephisto.
All right. Well, two of us are on the screen now, so we're getting closer.
Yeah, I got you.
Shots.
Doug's there now.
Everybody. Oh, here he is. The man, the myth, the legend. Douglas.
Gonna be sleeping soon.
You gotta stay awake so you can pitch your movie.
This fucking time change has been a bitch for me. I've been like falling asleep at 9 o'clock.
Damn. Does it always hit you this hard?
Yep, I hate it. I'm all on the camp of let's just keep daylight savings forever.
You should write some sort of a letter to someone and see what happens.
Should write a law about it.
I feel like every year it's like, oh, we're not going to be doing daylight savings for
Oh,
much longer.
The world complains for like 2 days and then just stops talking about it. So nothing's ever going to change when that's how it works.
Well, no,
Useless.
certain states have passed laws to change
Freeburg doesn't
whether or
have
not
it.
they
Yeah,
observe.
Arizona's
daylight
the only
savings.
one.
Arizona doesn't have it.
Well, there's a federal law that the feds have to allow states to choose not to observe or continue to observe daylight savings.
Interesting.
Fucking feds.
So why doesn't fucking New Jersey decide to not observe?
So I don't want to not do daylight savings. I just want it to be daylight
Always
savings.
be daylight savings. Always
Yeah.
be daylight savings.
Yeah.
So you
I
want
don't
it
want
to
it to
always
be dark.
You want it to be like it is from March to November or April.
Yeah.
To November.
Yeah, I don't want to leave work and drive home in the dark.
Yeah. No, I don't like being dark while I'm still working.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what's really funny about being down here is it gets dark at actually like 5:45 right now. So we don't have that problem.
You slut. All right, let's get rocking and rolling, shall we? How's that
Let's
sound?
do it.
Cool. All right, let's do it. Welcome to Live Breathe Film, episode 56. You're here with Corey, Doug, JP, and Murph. Thanks as always for joining us. Today we're going to talk about Eternals and then pitch our own piece of MCU content that we'd like to see. Whether it be a movie, TV show, miniseries, short, anything like that. But before we get to that, let's just run through some news. All right, a couple announcements from the past couple days. They're pretty, well, one very goofy and the other we shouldn't be surprised about. The one that we shouldn't be surprised about is that there is an issue again, another Star Wars film. This being that Patty Jenkins apparently has too busy of a schedule to work on the Rogue Squadron movie that was going to come out in December 2023. So now it's looking like that's going to get delayed. And who knows if this movie will ever even end up happening or if it ends up happening with her. Because I think she has both Wonder Woman 3 and Cleopatra both on deck beforehand. So I don't know how this suddenly became like an issue, like how they didn't know about this beforehand. But yeah, we may no longer see Star Wars in 2023, and for all we know, maybe another year and then take that slot in December 2023.
I kind of have a feeling that it's due to Wonder Woman doing so badly. I know, like, it does.
That's but people are speculating. Yeah, that could be it.
Different studio, of course, but it just seems like, you know, maybe Disney was pulling out because of how bad that movie is, or, you know, and how badly received it was.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
Patty Jenkins could be pulling out
That too.
as the other
Okay.
option.
Yeah, that could be it. I mean, we have seen them get rid of directors in all sorts of manner. Benioff and Weiss, they were supposed to do a trilogy, and then after the final Game of Thrones season, they stepped aside because of a deal that they already had with Netflix. Apparently, they were too busy. Then we had Colin Trevorrow. He was supposed to do Rise of Skywalker. His movie that he did before or after Jurassic World apparently got awful reviews, and then suddenly he leaves. Always about creative differences. Josh Trank, he was supposed to do a Boba Fett movie. Then we had Fantastic Four. So this is a regular thing. And then we had Lord and Miller getting kicked off Solo mid-movie. We've had Rian Johnson. They announced him to do his own trilogy. We haven't heard anything about that. Fans hate.
I forgot about that.
Because the fans fucking hate The Last Jedi.
Thank God.
So, yeah, I mean, they have had bad luck with their directors. The Rogue One director as well. Gareth Edwards, I believe his name is. He had issues on set with Rogue One, and they essentially replaced him with Tony Gilroy towards the end of the shoot and for reshoots. Or maybe it was just for reshoots. But, yeah, they have had zero luck with anyone outside of J.J. Abrams when it comes to film. And it's debatable whether J.J. Abrams was good, because fucked up Rise of Skywalker real bad. So,
You
I
didn't
don't know.
have
Maybe
much
they
to
Kinda
work with.
announce. I was gonna say they tend to announce the directors like years before production or a year before production, like way earlier than any other studio
They do.
announces directors, and so I think like this probably happens more than we realize with other movies. Studios just don't say, "Hey, we've got this director attached."
Yeah.
This far in advance, like
Yeah,
Disney's
because
been doing.
then if there are issues, then they don't become public knowledge because it was never announced to begin with. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think right now we still have movies potentially on deck from Feige. I forget if he was supposed to produce it or produce and direct, and then Taika, he's attached to direct one. So maybe one of those will jump in and take that slot. Who knows? But yeah, we'll talk more about that later on. And then the other bit of news, this was on Sunday, and Corey and we saw this at the bar, and we're just cracking up. I don't know if you guys saw JP or Doug. JP, you probably did by now. Vin Diesel put out a earnest plea to Rock on Instagram about how he must return to the Fast and Furious universe for the final film.
My brother.
He immediately
My
starts
little
the post.
brother.
Yeah.
Oh, my little brother.
He starts it in the most passive aggressive way possible by starting with my little brother Dwayne.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. That just sounds like so emasculating. I don't think Dwayne Johnson loved seeing that right from the start.
Oh yeah, and he used the shot of them in Fast Five where he had to stand on a milk carton to be the same size as The Rock when they went eye to eye.
He looks like wider than The Rock too.
Yeah.
All things that our eyes know are not true.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have yet to see The Rock respond. I mean, the last we've heard from those two sides had been The Rock continuing to take digs at Vin Diesel in various interviews ever since Jungle Cruise came out. But yeah, I don't think it's probably gonna work.
Nah.
If Fast fans really kind of push The Rock, I think it could work because The Rock is all about for the fans, and like, so you're not gonna come back to and Vin Diesel was smart to do that. He said in the post, "Come back for the fans." So like, I don't know.
I think he'll end up coming back, but it
could be great PR, like if he actually does come back, because they really haven't shared much screen time since Fast and Furious 6, which was back in 2013.
Maybe they can hash out their differences, like adults. Hopefully,
at the very least, it's gonna be funny to see what The Rock has to say.
He's gonna respond, I guess, eventually, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's not letting Vin Diesel get the last word. That's not happening. But yeah, outside of, sorry, so you were gonna say?
No, I was gonna say whatever he says is just like, little brother, little Vin.
Yeah, but I mean they're gonna have to figure it out soon because the movie's coming out. Fast 10 is supposed to come. Fast 10, your seatbelts is supposed to come out April of 2023. So they're gonna need to get shooting on that and early next year. So yeah, we should hear back soon. Let's talk box office and get it back into our fall box office pool. So we've had some shakeups at the top. Corey's month-long run has come to an end. Doug, thanks to the Eternals' disappointing $71 million opening weekend, has been able to take first place. I joke that because $71 million is the third biggest opener of the year, I believe, after Black Widow or fourth after Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Venom 2. Venom 2, number one opener of the year. Still crazy to think about.
Absurd.
But yeah,
I wasn't expecting that at all.
Eternals had an opening weekend neck and neck with F9. Probably gonna end up making similar amount of money at that one. The pre-release buzz for this movie was just so poor that definitely played an impact. Between the reviews, people not being enthusiastic about trailers, all that sort of thing. It didn't really have too much exciting things going for it. I mean, if you're excited about diversity in superhero films, then it was exciting. But as far as superheroes that we're familiar with, nope, didn't have that. The most familiar superheroes ended up being in the post-credit scene, and it was just a voice. But we'll get to that later. But yeah, Doug took the lead. He's up by $11 million now. He's got $271 million. 5 of his 6 films have now been released. All he's got left is Ghostbusters Afterlife, which was his number 2 pick. How you feeling now, Doug, after 5 of your movies have come out?
I think Spider-Man's going to just propel past me with just that one movie.
If it does, it'll be at the very, very end, one of the last day or two of this, because I think we said we were going until through Sunday, January 2nd or 3rd, something like that. So yeah, it'll be very close.
By far the biggest box office movie of the year. I just don't see how it doesn't go any other way.
Well,
yeah,
at this pace, the entire movie might leak before it even comes out. So you kind of have that going for you.
That's how we watch movies from now on, just leaked stills steadily coming out over
That's what it seems
Twitter
like.
and Reddit and all these sites. So ridiculous. They really need to drop that trailer now.
Someone at Sony,
because every day that goes by, it's just they're losing their
momentum.
a little bit of momentum and buzz.
I feel like it's oddly died down. I was like super gung ho about release the trailer yesterday, and I woke up this morning and I was like, fucking, who gives a shit?
Yeah, and we know it's going to be coming out in the next week,
Yeah.
so like it'll be here soon enough. And once it does, I mean, as Corey said recently, it's going to like break the internet. So, like just because we're aware and plenty of other geeks nerds on the internet are aware that spoiler alert, several characters that they have not teased yet are coming back. A lot of people don't know that yet. So it's when the trailer starts showing up on all the fucking people's like normies Facebook pages and things like that. That's when like the buzz is going to get deafening for this film. Yeah, but Doug, you're going to make a lot more money between Ghostbusters, the rest of Eternals run. French Dispatch held on well this past week during its expansion, so it is going to end up making a lot more than its opening weekend intended. Granted, it's going to be like 20 million total, but when you opened with $2 million, 20 million is a pretty damn good multiplier. Corey is in second with 260 million, almost entirely off the back of Venom, and a decent amount from Addams Family too. Not so much Last Night in Soho. But yeah,
No.
he still just got 3 to go. Resident Evil, Nightmare Alley, and Sing 2. I did notice Sing 2's tickets are already on sale, which is pretty crazy because it doesn't come out until close to Christmas.
Oh wow.
So their Illumination, Universal, or whatever seem pretty high, I guess, on this film. I know they played the trailers in front of Eternals. Should probably be a hit. And that could be a deciding factor in potentially you winning over the course of Christmas week. Third place, JP. Numbers are about, I guess, 10, 15 million above last week. You're at 161. This one is almost entirely due to No Time to Die, which is now on PVOD to rent as of this week. But I still expect it to have small drops over the next month, just because older people are now going out to the theater when it's less crowded. It only dropped 25% this past week, something like that, which is really good. And yeah, you have 3 to go, all coming out over Thanksgiving weekend. Encanto, House of Gucci, and Licorice Pizza. Granted, Licorice Pizza doesn't have a wide opening until Christmas. But it can probably build a lot of buzz till then. Early word is that it's fantastic from the screenings that went on in LA this past week. And then in last place, it's me with 8 million. So still 150 million behind third place, with Many Saints of Newark. And my next one is King Richard in 2 weeks. So next up, we've got King Richard and 2 weeks from now, November 19th. And then things will start getting really excited because the holiday season gets into effect over Thanksgiving, and then the real heavy hitters will open up in the second half of December. All right, anything that you got to say about how you guys are doing, Corey or JP? Corey, you less upset about where you're at now? You confident you're doing all right?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling a lot better with my decisions for the fall than I was for the summer. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I think it could go either way. Like you said, Sing 2 could end up making a decent amount of money. And I also think that Welcome to Raccoon City, based on how much money the other Resident Evil movies have made and they're garbage, the movie ends up being good, or good in terms of a Resident Evil movie, fans will go and see it. So that could end up making a decent chunk too. So
yeah, I mean, based on what we've seen so far, it can probably make more than half the movies on our list that we've all drafted.
Yeah, I could see it making maybe like 30 or 40 million if it's actually good. So,
Yeah.
And then Nightmare Alley, that'll be pennies. I don't think that's going to do really well, but it might. I mean, Crimson Peak, I remember looking. Crimson Peak did okay when that was in theater, so it could make a decent amount of money too.
That one will be based on reviews, how it does probably.
But not Spider-Man. Money.
Yeah, exactly. And JP, based on how the buzz House of Gucci's getting, you excited? You slid into this pick?
Yeah, I'm excited. It's probably better than Don't Look Up, but I'm comfortable down here at the bottom. I'm looking to set up a nice little spot here in the 4th spot. Move in probably sometime around December and, really call that home.
I mean, I'll be in 4th until mid-December, so you have that at the very least.
Yep. Just know that I'm looking in your neighborhood. I'm looking for real estate, so.
But yeah, you're definitely keeping with House of Gucci over Don't Look Up, because I saw Red Notice this past week only made like $1 million, and again, it was like unofficial numbers.
Shady Netflix shit.
Exactly. So unless something crazy happens with their release of Don't Look Up, and they decide to do things completely differently, House of Gucci will be your movie. And I mean, Gaga's promoting the shit of it now. She created a TikTok and just like posted some House of Gucci stuff on it. So it seems like this one could be like a surprise hit.
Nice.
With adults for the fall. I hope so, because it looks fun.
Yeah, it does look like a fun movie.
All right, let's move past box office and go to some couple of release dates. We didn't get a chance to talk about this last time, but in October, Disney and Marvel Studios pushed back basically all of their films in 2022 and 23, back one release date, with the exception of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That one is still opening as planned. But, for example, Doctor Strange 2 was supposed to open in March. Now it's opening in May when Thor is coming out. Thor is opening in July. Black Panther is now moving to November, etc., etc. So the Marvels has been moved into 2023, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was moved from early 2023 to the summer. So it's now coming out after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So yeah, it seems like Disney's basically shifted everything, and that's kind of why I was mentioned Avatar earlier. It just seems like that has the potential now to move from December 2022 to December 2023. Disney already has so many big sequels next year in the MCU that they can definitely afford it. If they don't have a Star Wars movie in 2023 in order to bump Avatar to that slot. But yeah, at least the pushes weren't too bad. It's not like the fact that we've had to wait 4 years, or no, 3 extra years for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is just crazy to think about. And then you guys saw Will Poulter join the cast of Guardians.
Yeah.
As Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is anyone, JP or Doug, are you really familiar with this character?
I saw Meet the Millers or whatever that was. Where are the Millers? Where are the Millers?
Yeah,
that's Will Poulter. I think Adam Warlock, from what I understand, is supposed to be like the perfect specimen.
Yep.
Of like, yeah. So it's kind of weird that they chose
I've
Will
seen some
Poulter,
pictures of him recently. He looked pretty.
Specimen-like?
Dreamy. Yeah, a little specimen like.
He was on. I mentioned to Corey he was on Dope Sick, and in one scene, like he was just having sex with another character, and like they're just chilling on the bed, and he was actually like fucking like jacked, like biceps, which I was not expecting. So I'm like, maybe he's been getting in shape for this character for a while now.
But I think does his face still look like Will Poulter?
His face looks like an older Will Poulter.
Yeah, I mean, they just started filming, too, so I guess this is probably he's probably known had this job for a while. They just announced it now.
Isn't like Adam Warlock supposed to be a bit of a little shit, too? Like he's kind of an entitled asshole. Yeah, Will Poulter's got that entitled asshole bully face.
He very much can pull that off.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an entitled, antagonistic, just, condescending asshole.
I think he'll do wonderfully.
Yeah. Definitely has an ego. For sure.
And then Disney, they've had one of their investor meetings today, so they just announced that Ms. Marvel, which was originally supposed to be coming out on Disney Plus this year, will now be coming out during their Q4 period of 2022. So that for them, it would be between July and October, I believe.
Wow.
So yeah, that and Andor are both going to come out during that period. So I have to imagine, well, we're getting book. I think yeah, they said this will be the first time ever that during one quarter they are airing an MCU thing, a pic like show, a Disney show, and a um, Star Wars show, all during the same quarter, which will be pretty crazy for anyone covering entertainment. But yeah, I have to imagine next year we're going to get Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, what is it, Moon Knight, maybe Loki season 2, and then on the Star Wars front we'll get Book of Boba Fett, Andor, and Mandalorian. I hope we get Obi-Wan, but that might be a 2023 at this point.
Aren't they filming Obi-Wan already?
They are, yeah.
And Ahsoka, that show too, but I don't know.
Yeah,
if
that
that's
one's
gonna
definitely
be
not going to be until 2023, based on where the rest of the shows are at. Because they've never done more than one show a year yet, so it seems like it'd be pretty wild if they went from 1 to like 4 a year. Be nice. But of all those upcoming Marvel and Star Wars ones, which are you most excited about?
Probably Obi-Wan for me. That's the one that I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah.
On the Star Wars side, yeah.
What about you guys?
I think even though the trailer was kind of weak, I'm still looking forward to Boba Fett the most. Just because
I figured that would be pretty high on your list.
Yeah, that's my jam right there.
Doug, what about you?
Obi-Wan. Just the most interested in it. Seems like it's got the most hype behind it right now. I think we get a trailer Friday, if I've heard correctly.
For Obi-Wan?
Yeah, I thought so, right?
Yeah.
This is news to me.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
If this is true, this is big news. You're breaking news to us, Doug.
I must be wrong if none of you guys have heard that.
No, Doug, you have the in.
You got a scoop on us.
You got a scoop.
Yeah. Well, there was
first trailer. Yeah, that's what like the rumors are. I don't know if it's been officially announced, but
okay.
Rumors are that there's an Obi-Wan trailer coming Friday.
Damn. Oh yeah, Friday's the Disney Plus day. So they're definitely gonna do some cool shit on Friday.
That is true.
Yeah, even during the movie, like AMC theaters, they're celebrating Disney Plus Day all weekend and having like mystery movies, like mystery Pixar ones, Marvel, etc., etc. Okay, maybe we will get a trailer.
Yeah, it looks like the report is claiming that there's gonna be a first trailer for Obi-Wan, and then like a sizzle reel that has stuff for shows like Andor. I'm guessing that's animated.
No, that's the Rogue One spinoff.
Okay.
With Diego Luna's character.
Oh, okay. Mandalorian.
Yeah, Cassian Andor.
Okay, yeah, Mandalorian season 3, Book of Boba Fett, and potentially more than that.
Damn. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, because I mean, Disney Plus Day, we're getting what? Shang-Chi is premiering. Mm-hmm. Jungle Cruise is premiering. Home Sweet Home Alone. That movie comes out. There's a new Luca short, new Simpsons short, and then some other stuff as well. So yeah, they're starting to really treat that anniversary day as a big event, which is fun. It sucks I have to pay for another year every time it happens, but whatever.
I got a question. Is the Guardians holiday special, is that going to be in theaters or is that going to be on Plus?
That's a Plus.
On 2023 or is it next year?
2023, I believe.
Yeah, 2022.
That's
okay, so the end. So next Christmas.
Comes out before Guardians Volume 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Guardians Volume 3 is May 23.
So that's another one that we have to look forward to. That's wow. There's a lot of stuff on Disney Plus.
It's about to go it's about to get crazy. like all that stuff that was announced like last year during their big investor now starting to like come to fruition, and like all the stuff that we saw at the last D23 celebration when we were at JP's bachelor party. At this point, like half of that stuff has come out, and like the stuff that was like so far away, we're now getting close to it. So it's pretty exciting. Other than that, the only other announcement was just came out today that Transformers: Rise of the Beasts is pushed back a year. It was, I think they're already filming it. It was supposed to come out this coming summer, but now it isn't coming out till June 23. And then they also said a new Star Trek movie is coming out in December 23. I'll believe that one when I see it. Anyone excited about Transformers and Beast Wars or whatever the fuck?
Hell
I
no.
liked Beast Wars as like a animated series.
Did you? Okay.
But yeah, I thought it was cool because they're animals
too.
and dinosaurs. And
Is
it
Mark
was
Wahlberg in this?
No.
fun, but
Okay, well then.
is Michael Bay involved at all, or do we have a director where I can actually like see the Transformers? Okay.
It's the director of Creed 2.
I don't know who that is.
Steven Capaldi. He did a solid job with Creed 2. Following up the work that Ryan Coogler did with the first one.
Yeah, I mean, if it looks good, I'll buy it. I'll buy in. I mean, it's animals fighting dinosaurs. Like, it's fun.
Did you ever see Bumblebee?
Yeah.
What did you think of that one?
It was fine.
I thought it was like the best one since the first Transformers.
I agree.
Is it the same continuity? Yeah. This one, like Beast Wars, is that in the same continuity as Bumblebee? Because Bumblebee wasn't the same continuity as the other ones, was it?
I think it's supposed to be, right? Just Bumblebee arrived earlier.
Yeah, Bumblebee was the same continuity. I'm not sure if this one is continuity.
Nah.
It just took place in the 80s. Like Bumblebee was just there, like so for such a long time, and I guess that's how eventually he ends up at that used car shop in the end, in the beginning of the first Transformers.
With
hanging out with Bernie Mac.
Yeah, good old Bernie Mac.
Man, it feels like a lifetime ago that movie came out. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to this new Transformers. They'll have to sell me with a very good trailer. But at least I hear that Beast Wars is from Doug now. He's endorsing Beast Wars.
I always turned that off on after school programming when Beast Wars came on. Not Beast Wars.
Megatron is a T-Rex. It's fun.
Out on Beast Wars. Okay, that's a little wacky, but we'll see what happens in June of 23.
Cool.
All right, let's talk trailers since we haven't done that since September. We won't go too deep into each of these since they've all been out for a various amount of time over the past month. But for the most part, we're talking about established IP that everyone is, well, some of them are, everyone will be familiar with, others people will be familiar with from their source material. But then this first one we're going to talk about is the original concept. It's a horror film, and it seems super spooky. The Black Phone.
Yeah.
This is from Scott Derrickson, the director of Doctor Strange, Sinister, Exorcism of Emily Rose, a bunch of other stuff. I think the strongest endorsement I can give this one is JP, who's not a horror movie fan.
Yeah.
I thought this one looked pretty damn cool.
Yeah, because it doesn't look super horror-y. It looks compelling, and it's, I don't know, it's just interesting. Got a cool mask in it, too. Fucking Ethan Hawke. Looking all creepy as shit.
He seems so creepy in the trailer.
I did feel like they spoiled the entire movie.
They do run through. It does seem like they gave away way too much.
Yep.
For those who haven't seen the trailer, it's about child abductions, like in some area. The main kid then gets abducted from Ethan Hawke's character, who's like some sort of magician, kid's magician.
Yeah.
But creepy as fuck looking one. Kid's locked in a basement. There's a phone in the basement. The only thing that he can hear through the phone are the voices of the kids who were previously kidnapped and killed.
Yeah.
And they're attempting to help him escape. For some reason, his friend also is kind of in tune with what's going on, for reasons unknown.
Yeah, I was gonna say it because on the other side, it seems cool. She's psychic. She's helping the police try and find him. It's an interesting concept.
Yeah, but yeah, it looks scary.
Yeah.
Looks creepy.
It looks intense.
It looks, yeah, that's a good word for it.
Yeah, like the dead kids are all fucking creepy looking, and I could do without ever seeing that. But it looks intense.
Mm-hmm.
From what I read, because they showed this movie already. I think some journalists saw it, and then some audiences saw it, and they said that it's terrifying. Like Ethan Hawke kills it, and that the trailer doesn't give away everything, but a lot of people were pretty glowing about it, from what I read.
Sweet.
I don't know why you're showing the movie, however many months in advance.
Because they're fucking happy with it. It's a good sign.
Not only showing it, but allowing journalists. Like there was no embargo at all.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a great sign.
Yeah.
That's you putting your fucking dick on the table and saying this is a good product.
Yep.
Which not many studios are confident enough to do. We saw Sony did it with Ghostbusters earlier this year.
Yeah.
Which was surprising. We'll see if it actually ends up being a good movie in the next couple. But no, it's cool.
This is Blumhouse, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
This
is a Blumhouse, who's on a roll when it comes to original horror movies for the past decade, really, at this point. All right. But let's talk then about the other horror movie coming out, Scream, which really should just be titled Scream 5, because that's exactly what it is. It very much looks to be Scream 4, a redo of it. The way they're talking about it is the exact same way they talked about Scream 4. So we're going back to Woodsboro. We're going back to high school kids. We're also having the legacy cast members. It's exactly the same as far as that goes. I think this time we're just supposed to be getting a much more interesting film, and they're really keeping everything like close to the vest right now, and not revealing the twists and turns that this movie is going to take. From my understanding, it goes and does things that people aren't going to predict and is going to like actually, which I'm personally excited about.
I mean, yeah, I would hope for that because the trailer is fucking incredibly lackluster to me. It looks like shit, to be honest.
I didn't think it looked like shit. I just thought it looked like more of the same.
Yeah, it looked boring. It looked like uninteresting kids in it. And then they show what appears to be very clearly the opening scene where someone gets murdered. So
yeah, it looks very reminiscent of Drew Barrymore's like kill in the first Scream movie. It shows them going back to the house that was the entire third act of the original Scream. Stu's house. Shows the high school again. So it very much looks like it is kind of paying tribute to that first movie, and I think a lot of this will be paying tribute to like Wes Craven, things like that. The one character's name is Wes. And then I know that two of the characters, I believe, are related to Randy's character. Jamie Kennedy, his character Randy from the first trilogy. So it seems like, I mean, what they said in the trailer, what was it, that everyone is kind of like people getting killed are related to like people who were involved in like the original movies.
Well, didn't they say that they were related to the killers?
I think they said that.
Are we ignoring Scream 4?
It's still everything is canon. So, I mean, yeah, because one character in the movie, she only came into play in Scream 4.
Okay.
Otherwise, the only returning characters are the big three from all four of them. David Arquette, Courtney Cox, and Neve Campbell. But yeah, I would agree with you ultimately, JP, that I didn't get too much out of this one. I was hoping for... but I'm going to wait and see how it ultimately is when it comes out in January.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, if they're promising something, mind-blowing or at least somewhat provocative outside of what we saw in the trailer, then it's definitely worth a watch. I hate the name, though. I hate the name.
I don't like when sequels just pull the original title.
Yeah, especially the fifth one.
Yeah, like I didn't like when Halloween did it. I didn't like when Candyman did it. I don't like that Scream's doing it, because now you got to like differentiate. Like I'm talking about like the original Scream, or I'm talking, but the new one. That's stupid.
Ghostbusters 2016.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, another movie opening in is Morbius January or February?
I think it's February.
It's February, right? It's probably the very beginning of February. But yeah, we got a new look at Jared Leto's new Spunk movie.
It's January, end of January.
Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters. It's the end of January.
Yeah, January 28th.
Got it. But yeah, we got a 3-minute trailer for this. Showed a decent amount of new footage. Who's on board with Morbius, with Michael Morbius?
It doesn't look awful. I mean, the Venom trailers look worse.
It doesn't look good either, says
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm completely underwhelmed, but I mean, I'll see it, of course, but it doesn't look... There's not like a red flag like, wow, this movie looks like garbage. It looks like it could be fun, but it could also suck. It could go either way.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Venom put out worse trailers than this, and people like Venom.
Oh yeah, you're right. Definitely.
I like how it kind of can, like, this is the weird one that connects the Spider-Man universe with the Venom universe, and so you got Keaton in it, but then he's also like, I'm Venom. No, I'm just Dr. Michael Morbius, creepy fucking freaky dude. It still kind of looks like a 90s superhero movie.
Yeah, it looks like a 90s, early 2000s superhero movie.
He's like, no, man, I'm just Jared Leto from 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah. Which I would go fucking running for the hills before I'd probably run from Morbius. I'd run from Jared Leto first, but the powers look cool. It kind of looks like Bloodshot though, or whatever that horrible fucking Vin Diesel movie
Vin Diesel
was.
One.
Yeah, because it's got that same gray tint.
Yeah. When he flies in front of the subway, it looks so cheesy.
Yeah.
Because he's like gliding.
I have some sort of echolocation.
It definitely didn't look as cheesy though as Venom, like you guys said.
Yeah.
And I mean, he looks better in this than he did in Suicide Squad. So
yeah,
I'll give him a second shot.
It's a stupid character though.
It is.
He's a like fucking vampire.
I'm not a vampire, but I have bat powers that kind of make me like a vampire.
He also looks like a vampire.
He's like a vampire bat. Which I'm pretty sure is what he is, though.
I've never read anything about this character, and from what I've read online, people are like, yeah, he's kind of a weird, like, D-list character. Like, people love him, but then, you know, there's people that are like...
I mean, at this point, like, I saw him do an interview, actually earlier today, and he was talking about how it's exciting to play a character that hasn't yet been adapted into a film. And I mean, we're at the point now where we're either going to be getting like a repeat characters, or we're going to be getting really fucking D-list characters, and attempts at turning them into A-list characters, because there's, I mean, who's left that they haven't done?
Like good ones
that are like none. A-list. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I saw a thing, I think it was on NPR, they tried to buy the rights to a Marvel comic character and went like to the bottom of the list, and Marvel just flat out was like, no, fuck you, go away. Like, no amount of money on earth. So they're really keeping some of these like dredge characters to themselves to just insert into movies. And
no, I mean, it makes sense at this point. They've gotten screwed in the past by giving away characters. So, gotta hold on to those babies tight now.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Uncharted. We've talked about this video game turning into a film plenty of times before. We've finally got our first look of it. What do you think of this Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg buddy situation?
Now this looks like absolute fucking trash. Way worse than I thought when I imagined it.
Is it strictly Mark Wahlberg that is upsetting you, or?
I mean, mostly yes, but I also Tom Holland, great actor. He's not Nathan Drake. He's just not.
I can see. I will agree with you. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg is ridiculous as Sully. I think Tom
Still-
Holland can probably pull off a young Drake. I don't think that so much will be the issue. My problem with it is like they're cribbing scenes and like set pieces from like games that take place after it. But
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
is it supposed to be in the continuity of the video game?
No, they're just pulling cool shit. They probably
So it's
looked
all
at
right.
the-
it's its
We're
own-
not
its
making
own-
another one, so it's fine. Just
Yeah.
pull all the cool shit.
They
This is
definitely
clearly a one and done situation.
We've signed Mark Wahlberg. Pull all the cool shit from the video games and burn it.
It's time we fleece as many people as possible. Only doing one.
Yeah, they definitely like when they were preparing to make this, they probably looked at video footage of like all the cool set pieces from all the games and they just like picked, "Oh, let's do the plane one. Let's do this." And it's all going to be in the movie. I would not
Yeah.
be surprised if we get all of the major ones in this movie from all 4 games.
Someone was paid to sit down and play every one of these video games. Just think about that. That was their job for probably weeks. Just to sit down and play every single one of them. Take
I would-
There
notes.
could have been like
I would
such
take that job.
There could have been like such a cool practical like the plane. I guess you can't pull off. Although I guess the closest, the fucking Mummy movie did a really good plane scene.
Yeah.
That was fairly practical. But like the train scene from 2, like that could have been done practically and look awesome.
I feel like they're saving that for the sequel that'll never happen.
Probably in this fucking movie, they just haven't shown it yet. It's gonna be CGI to hell.
It's gonna be horrible CGI. It's practical effects can be expensive though, can't they? When it has to do with trains and planes and shit like that. So
Yeah.
just a
think
cheaper
practical
way.
effects- Yeah.
And
Should
now
have been Christopher Nolan. He would have crashed the real train.
He
and-
would have.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it in Dark Knight Rises too. He ripped those wings off the airplane, didn't he?
Yep.
yeah, he just does whatever he wants. He's just in his own league.
But you know, at the end of the day, it goes back to their roots. This is a video game, so shouldn't all of it be CGI?
You got a point there.
There you go.
But yeah, now
I still don't know why Tom Holland is like. I'm with Corey on the. It's not Nathan Drake. If we could
Because-
go back,
or
in
is it because
time
he's
and, like,
because he's young, or is it because he's
no, he's just nothing
No.
like Nathan Drake. Yeah, it's just like you couldn't have picked
poor
a character
casting.
more far from Nathan Drake than Tom Holland. You probably
Yeah,
could,
that's-
but
you definitely
he's pretty
can.
far.
No,
off.
I could pick you about 10 right now.
Yeah, I don't think it has
I-
anything to do with him. It's just I think it's a poor casting choice. Like he'll probably be good, but it's not going to be Nathan Drake.
Like, I don't think
If I-
he's a bad casting choice for Drake being a 20-year-old. I think he's a bad casting. I think the idea of Drake being a 20 is bad. That is like my ultimate issue.
If I had a time machine, or if the studio had a time machine, you could pick an actor. I think if you could get David Boreanaz, like from like the Angel, like Buffy and Angel days, and throw him in there.
Yeah,
that
but
he
would he
have been
be-
a good Drake?
Good, though?
Why
He's
wouldn't you want?
kind of
why wouldn't you
soulless.
Yeah. Why would you want
So,
the actor it's based on?
basically, you just want like Joss Whedon actors of the early 2000s, because I know Corey wants Nathan Fillion. Now you want David Boreanaz.
I want that guy that played
Interesting.
Spike.
He wants James Marsters.
There you go.
He's not British.
Yeah.
Wait, is he not British?
No,
Oh, God.
No. Yeah.
he just did the accent for the show.
Interesting. He fooled me.
I thought he was. I thought
He's
he
fooled
had,
me for he's fooled me for 23 years now.
I thought he had a British
Yeah,
accent in the Dragon Ball Z
he's
thing,
like-
too.
Super American.
I think even when I see him in interviews, I just imagine him talking British. I'm just so used to it.
I could have sworn that he did a British accent in that crappy Dragon Ball movie, too. Maybe I just heard it.
Yeah, he's probably like, people won't know it's me unless I do this accent. But yeah, this is now another Disney movie that got postponed was Indiana Jones 5. That's got pushed back to 2023. So Uncharted's got the year to itself as being an archaeology type adventure film. We'll see what it does with that year. as an original movie. I doubt it does very well. But yeah, well, and that's quality withstanding. But we'll see what happens when it comes out in March. I believe it's March. Maybe it's February. Good one. Next up is Lightyear, the new Pixar movie. Sorry, the new Pixar movie. This one is Chris Evans taking over the role of Buzz Lightyear, playing the life Buzz Lightyear. I do that in quotes. Who inspired the toy? So I
hate this so much it makes my head hurt.
It's so ridiculous. But yeah, we got a look of it. We didn't actually hear really speaking in the trailer. Looks like a cool like sci-fi action movie, which we've never seen Pixar do before. Like a sci-fi adventure action movie. But I mean, the whole idea just reeks of like milking money off the Toy Story brand. I hope that's not the case, but it probably will be. What did you guys think of the little look that we saw of it?
It's cool stylistically. It's gritty.
Right? It does look cool looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the concept.
I thought it looked good.
Fucking mind-boggling.
Yeah, the concept hurts my head because I don't understand how this exists in the same universe as the Toy Story universe.
I mean, maybe they've been to space this whole time in Toy Story. Like, maybe Toy Story is like actually takes place on a different planet.
They still have Super Nintendo. All these toys. Toy Story 2.
It actually takes place in the same continuity as Toy
Oh man,
Story?
Corey's like,
Oh, you haven't been spoiled yet. Your brain hasn't been fucking turned to mush.
you're about to turn into
No.
mush.
Yes, it's the real life Buzz Lightyear that the toy was based on.
How?
Yeah.
Buzz Lightyear was in our world. We just didn't know about him.
Is
Well, someone did because they made a fucking toy about him.
True.
Is what's his name real too? His
Zurg?
arch-nemesis? Zurg?
Zurg. That we don't know yet, but I would have to lean towards yes.
Yeah, there's absolutely going to be a Zurg.
Now, is the Buzz Lightyear cartoon that aired in the mid 2000s related to this as well?
My guess is no. My thought about the cartoon is that it was an TV adaptation that came out the same time the toy came out.
Of the real Buzz Lightyear, but
Of
an
the
adaptation. Okay.
Yeah, and then that's how they used Tim Allen's voice in the toy and on the television show. Like Tim Allen voiced Buzz Lightyear, the character on the TV show, and they used his voice in the toy.
So he's like the Lorenzo. What was the fucking guy that plays Bill Murray and everything? That passed away recently.
Who?
The fucking Lorenzo. Ah, shit! This is gonna kill me. Oh God, I'm gonna wait. Hold on. He was in the Ghostbusters.
Like a real Ghostbusters.
Yeah. And then he was also whatchamacallit, Garfield too.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Lorenzo Music, who is like the closest adaptation to friggin' Bill Murray. So Tim Allen is the closest approximation to, I guess, the real Buzz Lightyear. I don't know where I was going with that. That was a fucking tangent.
You're making sense out of it.
This hurts my brain to think about.
Making sense out of nonsense.
Is it safe to say that we could get Tim Allen reprising his role as Buzz Lightyear the toy in this prior to him going into space in the film or whatever? I'm just like throwing
I'm
something out
thinking
Well, he's gonna be
the
heroic.
logical ending for this film is toy to Chris Evans' character, and it has Tim Allen's voice. And he's like, that doesn't sound anything like me.
Yeah, just close it right after that. That would be hilarious.
That is your ending. If they don't do that, I'd be surprised, quite frankly.
And then when do we get
so fucking obvious?
When do we get the gritty adaptation of Woody, who's real life cowboy that they based the toy on as well?
That they based Woody's Roundup on.
Yeah.
Play him.
The 50s television show.
It's just like fucking gritty Tombstone. But they're like, oh, we're gonna make a kid's show out of this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Christian
we'll find
Bale.
out in the next decade or so.
Yep.
All right, and then, well, since you mentioned Christian Bale, let's talk about our new. We've got our second look at the Batman coming out in March at DC Fandom, the second edition. Got got some new footage, saw some new characters.
Yeah.
Well, didn't really see. I guess we didn't really see new characters. We got better looks at some characters. Better looks at the Penguin. Better looks at Alfred. Better looks at Selina Kyle. We got basically the same amount of the Riddler and same amount of Batman.
Well,
But,
not really. We got to see like Paul Dano's torso and the back of his head
true.
and the side of his ear.
The skills.
Yeah.
What did JP? We haven't really talked about it too much.
No.
Because I was with Corey during Fandom, and then I went to Florida the following week, so I've talked about it with Doug. What did you really think about this one?
I thought it was really good. I don't think it was as gripping as the first trailer, but we definitely got a lot more here, and it sort of really gave you the tone for what the movie's going to be like, what the villains are going to be like. I think what they did with Penguin is just like such a fucking good adaptation of what I thought the character could be. And then they're giving us that Zodiac type Riddler that I've always wanted. And the suit looks awesome. He can lift his head up. It looks like he gets the absolute shit beaten out of him throughout the course of this entire movie.
It looks like he doesn't care about getting the shit beaten out of him.
No.
Yeah.
He's like a Batman that gives no fucks.
Yeah, really suicidal. Especially walking down that hallway where they're just firing bullets at his chest and they're bouncing off. I wouldn't say that's realistic by any means, but I'm all about that. That was like a Vader scene of Batman. They could have just shot him in the fucking legs and he would have been dead. But yeah, that's absolutely wild. There's some really beautiful shots in this trailer. I think the whole movie is just going to look really nice. There's a lot of daylight in a Batman movie, though, which is a little worrisome. He seems to be a Batman.
The cinematography was very nice.
Yeah.
Especially that scene where he's on the roof with Selina.
Yep. There's one scene that they sort of just like shoehorned in there as an action piece where he's just flying down and lands on like a scaffolding that looks absolutely amazing. It doesn't look realistic at all, because you'd like snap both his legs off and die, but that's Batman. And then that scene at the end where the Penguin's car's flipped over and he's walking towards the car is actually kind of terrifying. I really like that scene. I think that's the one part I went back and I rewound the most, was just like everything's on fire and he's walking towards the car with the cape going and everything.
Yeah, it was a cool looking shot with it being upside down and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you basically summed up my views. I think just the first one was more exciting just because it was the first we were seeing of anything. And this just was really showing that, that what we showed you last year is the tone of this film, which isn't a bad thing.
No.
And I'm sure we will get one more trailer before it comes out. Maybe in December, tied with The Matrix. If not, maybe around the Super Bowl, since it comes out March 4th. So we still have a decent amount of time before it's actually.
Yeah, I don't think I want or need another one.
And we haven't seen a lot of the characters yet. We haven't seen Falcone. We haven't, who's played by John Turturro. We have not seen Peter Sarsgaard's character. We haven't seen Egan's. It's been a decent amount that they've been holding back. We really have not seen much of Paul Dano. So
no,
it's cool.
Yeah, I kind of get the feeling that you're not going to see a whole lot of Paul Dano. I mean, you'll probably get bits and pieces of him. I feel like he's going to be a little more like Joker-esque, but not. Maybe like a Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it seems like he's going to be leaving like masterminding stuff, but which makes it more terrifying when you like don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of the Joker, I was saying this to one of you guys recently. What are your thoughts on waiting till part 3 for the Joker? Like, before you actually do him?
See, in some ways I like it, but in other ways I would love if they could just keep continuity of villains between this. So if you introduce the Joker in 2, he's in 3, so it's not like here's Joker movie, here's the Riddler movie, here's the thing. From what I've been reading, they might be making good on that kind of thing. I I've
So what they
also
probably would have done with Heath Ledger had he not died.
yeah, I've also read that they don't tease anything for the next movie from the Batman, which I personally don't agree with, and I feel like also
Surprising.
if it's test screenings, they're probably not going to put that in the test screening.
Yeah, I mean they want to keep something secret.
But I mean, just because like Colin Farrell's supposed to have his own Penguin show apparently in the works, and then you got the Gotham PD thing. I have a feeling that it's just going to end up being like you have these villains, they're going to have their place in the world. They're not just going to be offed, you know, because Batman doesn't kill, but you know he's not going to save you from a train that's falling 50 stories down, and you know you're dead now, so you don't have to come back for other movies. So if they were to do the Joker in like a limited sense in the second movie, and then bring him back in the third movie, that's cool. But yeah, holding him to the fourth that'd be fine, because there's definitely more villains that they could, you know, explore. I'd like to see it get a little crazy, like a Mr. Freeze or something. But
All right.
I don't know if we'll get that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do and how they do it differently from the previous versions to really like differentiate it and whatnot, which villains.
He's got to
But,
be in it though, right? Like you have to have a Joker.
You cannot like it.
Yeah.
Like my thought is like save the best for last because they've never done it yet, and make as much time as possible between Joaquin Phoenix and whoever they get for this one. Just so people aren't jokered out, because there's been so many Jokers recently.
Yeah,
we've seen Batman beat up people in Joker masks, right, in the trailers.
No, they were wearing face paint, but it looked like skulls or something.
We don't. Okay.
I think it was just skulls. Joker. No, I think it's like a gang that exists in Gotham, but I'm not 100% sure. I mean, if they,
yeah, I definitely got like somewhat like an homage to Joker with those types of masks, but I didn't necessarily know if it had anything to do with him.
Yeah, it would be nice to just, instead of having the Joker just exist again, having Batman create the Joker and then come back and explore
more
that.
Similar to Batman 89.
Yeah, and really let that breathe though. Like get like the Batman the Animated Series thing going, or
like, all right, what if the guy that he beats the fuck out of in the trailer ends up becoming the Joker later on?
I would be fine with that if you like set
they obviously get a different actor and everything, because it would give it away otherwise. But yeah, he could like be all disfigured from the fact that he pummeled like very badly in that trailer.
Yeah, no. If they threw him somewhere in this movie and then had it call back, that'd be wonderful. But I don't know if that's gonna be where they go with it. But
yeah,
be a fun way to do it.
All right. Any other thoughts, anyone, on Batman? All right.
Nope. Look forward to seeing it.
Cool. We will talk plenty more about it later on. But let's talk about what we've watched over this past week. We've got just one thing to talk about. We top of the episode, and that is the Eternals, or Eternals. Corey and myself have seen it so far. JP and Doug have yet to see it. So we will talk. We'll talk spoiler free. We can kind of do it similar to Suicide Squad, where you guys can ask us questions, our thoughts on the films, things like that. Anything that you want answered prior to actually seeing it. But before we get to that, Corey, you want to just give me your general thoughts on the film based on what you did it surpass your expectations, things like that?
Yeah, no, it definitely did. This was definitely a movie I went in with pretty low expectations, and so it really blew my expectations out of the water. But that was more because of how low they were. But I was very surprised with the character development that we got in this movie. It was very different than anything that we've really gotten in any other MCU movie. The characters were well developed. They had a lot of time to breathe. Everyone who played the characters in the movie did a very good job. And visually, it was just very, very different, again, from anything that we've gotten before. I really enjoyed it. Way more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah. This was one where I felt like I was watching a different movie than like critics saw.
Yeah.
Where even like not even just like looking at a star rating or something like that, but like reading like what they said about the film, I was like, I couldn't like disagree with you more.
Yeah.
Some will be like, oh, these characters are incredibly one, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, no, like they had they had different layers and like their opinions on things like changed like throughout the film and like what they did. I just didn't get that aspect along like saying the characters weren't well developed and things like that.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either.
And yeah, no, ultimately I thought with the exception of one of the 10 or yeah, well, I would say only one of the 10 main characters of the film was not well developed of the 10 Eternals. Otherwise, they did a really good job of showing like the conflict, like inner conflict, and conflict with other members of the team, and things like that. And the trailers did a very good job of not actually showing what it was, because it is the movies I would like compare it to are like probably like Snyder Cut or like Watchmen.
Yeah.
Both in like tone and like how like it was presented and in like what the plot like really kind of is. So it was very different, a typical MCU film. It was more like a DC one, and maybe like Corey, you've mentioned that people just might not. People wanted more of the same, and they didn't get more of the same this time. People also complained about the pacing. I didn't think the pacing was an issue. The movie wasn't too long. Like it was 2.5 hours. I mean, maybe it could have suited better as a miniseries, but I felt it ultimately did everything it needed. And didn't feel like it was too long or that it was too short. So yeah, overall, I was as a first movie in a MCU series, I thought it was higher end.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I mean, I thought it was fantastic. I don't know if maybe I'm wrong, and I mean, clearly I'm in the minority, but maybe when I see it a second time and my expectations are higher than what they were the first time, I'm going to think it wasn't as good. But right now, I feel like this is a movie that people are going to. This was a very good movie down the road, based on what the reviews are and what the word of mouth has been since it came out. Because right now, it had the lowest cinema score of any MCU movie, lowest Metacritic grade, lowest Rotten Tomatoes grade. It's frankly like really fucking surprising. And I don't believe critics are like hating it just to hate it or anything like that. I don't believe that's like really how they work, especially because they typically love MCU movies. Like if they say they don't like it, it's because I think they maybe they were disappointed that this was Chloe Zhao's follow up to Nomadland, or they were comparing it to that one. It was significantly worse, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, JP, Doug, I think you guys are going to see it in theaters. But is there any questions you have from us about the film? Anything you're looking to know about it that won't spoil your experience or anything like that?
Why is this movie being rated lower than Iron Man 2 by critics and audience?
Murph and
That's what I want to know. That movie is a fucking heap of garbage.
We've talked about this, and it doesn't make any sense. Although, our mutual friend Murph, Ryan, he didn't really like the movie.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I don't. Talking to him, like, I think he was expecting something different than what he got, and maybe that's the case. But yeah, I don't know how it's graded lower than those movies, because those movies are definitely way worse.
My guess is, with your question, Doug, I think people probably have higher expectations when it comes to the in 2010, and I think maybe the high from Iron Man was still there, that people gave it somewhat of a pass, because there is no way in hell, if you 25 movies and the 26 movies that there have been so far, to someone for the first time, if they watch all 26 of them, that at least 5 of them wouldn't have lower grades than Eternals. And I am being very generous. Would probably be closer to on average, some like 5 to 10 movies that people would have lower than it.
Yeah, I just don't get that.
Because it is so fucking better well made than Iron Man 2. So better well acted. Really, you can compare it in any department.
Or Iron Man 3
Eternals
in there
is
too.
better. Yes, you can throw Iron Man 3 in there. You can throw an Ant-Man or two. There are plenty of movies. Captain Marvel. You can throw a lot of shit in there, and I think you will like Eternals more. I'm really interested to see. Yeah, exactly. I'm really interested to see what JP ends up thinking of it. It definitely has. I mean, it definitely made like somewhat of a indie movie in that it's like the characters like don't fucking quip as much as they typically do in a normal exception of Male, who is absolutely like the comedic centerpiece of the film. Him and his valet. His valet, awesome character. Loved him. But yeah, I really want to see what he ends up thinking of.
Yeah, the fact that he has a valet just sort of confirms like this movie in my mind thinks it's fucking better than me. It just seems like something that would, I don't know. I have no fucking hopes for this movie.
His character though is like a Bollywood star, right?
Yeah.
So like they're just kind of playing into the jokiness of like Camille is this Bollywood.
Yeah, sure. It's just like of any of the fucking Marvel movies that have a valet from the trailer, it looks like this one would have a fucking valet in it.
Yeah. So well, of the 10 characters, one has a, and they do jokingly refer to him as. They are multiple DC references in this film.
Oh wow!
Which is the first time in a MCU movie.
Is it because one of them is like a fucking blatant ripoff of Superman?
A lot of the characters are blatant ripoffs of Justice League characters.
Yeah.
One of them's a Flash, like one of them's Superman.
Yeah,
and that's why the movie, like a lot of it reminds me of Man of Steel and Snyder Cut. The way Richard Madden's character is fucking sick. I think they do some versions of like the Superman, Henry Cavill's Superman that we've seen better with his version of Eternals. Just some of it, not all of it. But yeah, they're clearly making these no-name characters and giving them powers that like these big DC characters have.
Okay.
One other thing I wanted to just point out, Murph, I think you mentioned this to me, and I thought it was definitely, completely correct that the movie actually has stakes.
Yeah.
Like
good point.
Big stakes, and I didn't even realize it until you mentioned it, but I mean, it's completely apparent that there's these huge stakes in the movie that really are not there in all the others.
Yeah, and it's like obviously there's the end of the world shit. It's an MCU movie, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I mean there are casualties in this film. There are a lot of characters. Things don't go like according to the formula that typically happen. Not many characters have died in the MCU. I mean, what do we got? Yondu and Tony and Scarlet and Natasha. Yeah, those are like the big ones. Yeah, this movie pulls no punches, and has some pretty big surprises in it. So, you want to know anything about the post? Anything about the future of the MCU? Anything? Oil Eternals?
Not really.
I don't. Yeah. I mean,
well, when you see it, we will talk about them. Because they do have some big things for the future of the MCU. One of which was all over the internet a few weeks ago, and another one, which is really cool. And yeah, I think you guys are gonna be really pumped when you see it.
I surprisingly missed the one that was all over the internet.
Well, that one wouldn't pump you up, but the other one will.
That's good.
I saw the one that was all over the internet.
Yeah.
Fine.
Does it pump you up, Doug?
It doesn't pump me up, but it's intriguing. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the other one, you're gonna be like, oh shit, MCU, Phase 4.
Or I'm gonna
or
be
5,
like, I'm
who
gonna
knows?
have to look up this character.
Is it
'cause I
gonna be
don't
like
know.
Hulk smash?
You're gonna have to look something up.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to look something up. Yeah.
It's gonna be like when Thanos appeared.
But
and I
once
was
you
like,
do,
is he like
like it was
somebody that I care
who's
about?
who's this purple ball chin guy?
yeah, it was something where like I thought like I knew what it was in the theater, but then I didn't even say it because I was like I didn't see anything. I must be wrong. And then like I saw like later that night, texted Corey, and he was like, "Oh shit!" Like I didn't realize that either.
So it's gonna be like, you know, seeing Inglorious Bastards and thinking Sting was there.
Exactly.
And realizing
Yeah.
it wasn't Sting.
All right. Well, when you guys see Eternals, let's report back on the spoiler version review of this.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right, but let's get into the feature presentation then. What we're doing today is drafting, or no, we're not drafting anything. I have the old. Oh, I just read it wrong. We're doing our Dream MCU filmer show with existing MCU characters primarily. So basically, we're creating the content that we would like Kevin Feige to produce. We're pitching to him. Each of us are doing our own pitch. What we're working with during these pitches, we all came up with titles for this piece of content. Who the existing characters in the series are that would be part of this film, who the villain would be, what format we want to see it in, whether it's a movie, a miniseries, a long form series, or like shorts. What sort of genre we're appropriating. I mean, if you've seen an MCU movie at this point, you realize that they're kind of digging from other genres for each, whether it's Winter Soldier being like a 70s spy film, or Thor Ragnarok being like a Flash Gordon type movie, so on and so forth. They all have some sort of piece of film or TV history that they're pulling from in order to attract viewers. So we'll include those, and then what new character we would debut in the post credits, because you got to have a post credits. Everyone has post credits, and this is where we would have somebody that hasn't yet been MCU come into the universe. We'll talk about all this stuff. Feel free, guys, to add in additional info to make your pitch as exciting as possible. And then you guys watching on this, let us know your thoughts. Would this be something you would or do you think we're fucking stupid and we should not be pitching to Kevin Feige? And who knows, maybe somebody listening has relations to Disney or something and our pitch gets stolen. Whatever, it can happen. But let's do this. Corey, you want to start? You get
sure.
a few minutes on the clock to sell your film to us.
All right. So the film that I have
Sorry,
come up
film
with,
or television show.
or sorry, it's actually a television series that I came up with. It's called Are They Worthy? And it's starring Rocket, Groot, and Korg. So Rocket and Groot somehow make their way to Earth, and they run into Thor and Korg, and Rocket realizes that Mjolnir is something that he wants. So him and Groot devise a Ocean's 11 type of heist situation to get in and try to take Mjolnir, not knowing that they can't pick it up. They make it in there, and Rocket obviously can't pick it up, but Groot can. Groot takes it. They get out of there. Thor is the villain, trying to get Mjolnir back, and Korg ends up, chasing after them and becomes, kind of like a buddy slapstick action comedy series. Slash.
All right, and Thor's
heist.
the villain.
Yes, because he's trying to get Meow Meow back.
It's kind of fun. I like it.
Yeah.
Definitely
Called
sounds,
Are They Worthy?
I like the name. So it's a heist. So yeah, buddy heist some. All right, they've kind of done the heist element a little. Beta Ray Bill. Who's that? He's your post credits character.
Yeah. So
He's
Beta
like
Ray
a
Bill.
Martian Thor.
What's that?
Sorry, go ahead. I was just saying who Beta Ray Bill is, but go ahead.
Oh,
It's your
yeah.
pitch.
Beta Ray Bill he's an alien that is actually worthy. He becomes worthy of Mjolnir and picks it up in the comics and wields it. So I thought he'd be a good pick. Introduce him. They've teased him in the movies. So and I think it was Ragnarok they teased him. So it'd be a good way to introduce this character. He's more of a hero than like a villain. He's, not really a villain at all, but he does butt heads with Thor a little bit. So, are they worthy?
Are they? All
Coming
right.
to Disney Plus soon.
Doug and JP. What are your thoughts?
Sounds fun.
Any critiques? Anything that you would recommend to take this product to another level?
So I know that Groot lifted Stormbreaker. Can he lift Mjolnir? But can he though?
Oh. This is I mean,
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Because I know he lifted Stormbreaker. I didn't know if it was.
It's a good point.
Stormbreaker have the same thing, but that'd be fun though. I mean, I feel like if anyone could lift Mjolnir besides Captain America, it'd be Groot.
Yeah, Groot's pretty selfless. He did that like thing in Guardians to save everybody. Turned himself into Baby Groot.
It's true. I mean, just that alone, right? Yeah. The amount of merchandise he sold makes him worthy.
I think the funny thing would be is that neither one of them like really know anything about the weapon, so I think it would be interesting for them to just like have it. Like Rocket just wants it strictly because it looks cool, because he just loves stealing shit.
I want to see it be thrown with Rocket on it. And like him flying with it on it and trying to jetpack it back or something, and then hitting like a wall. I feel like that would be pretty hilarious.
They obviously realize the powers of it, as things go on, pretty quickly. But
I like having the good main character as the villain, like the parent that is trying to like stop the kids from having a good time. Like I like that a lot.
Yeah. Where is Thor hanging out? Where is his hammer stored?
It's true. I think it would probably be at maybe the Avengers compound.
Okay.
Wherever the Avengers compound is at this point in time.
Okay.
One of. Since Asgard doesn't really exist anymore.
True. All right, I got some ideas. I think we could take it to the next level.
Oh, here we go.
So here's what I'm thinking. You turn this series into shorts, a short series. You make every episode about them attempting to steal Mjolnir and keep getting into fucking like Thor stopping them, like, or every time they get so close, something happening. Similar to like a Roadrunner, like Wile E. Coyote type thing. Obviously stays at the comic heist like genre that you came up with. Obviously keep it live action. We've seen What If. Fuck that. But yeah, just do like keep all the same characters, everything like that, and yeah, just all their wacky zany attempts and coming up with new ideas like every like short to get this, and then Thor ultimately like stopping and everyone, and then maybe in the last one they actually and then maybe in the last one like they don't, but then Beta Ray Bill like in the post credits like he ends up getting it. Just an idea, but
I like it.
The last episode they get it, but they realize they can't pick it up.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. And then in the post credits, this one dude just right in and just like picks it up.
Yeah.
And like it's Marvel Studios. Like
that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah. I like it.
But yeah, no, I mean I definitely like the fucking meat on this. But yeah, all right, cool. Any other thoughts, guys, on this one?
No.
All right. Are they worthy? Let us know your thoughts on this one. To anyone watching now or later in the comments. But Doug, you want to go to yours?
Sure. So I've always had this idea, or I've always been intrigued by the idea that of Old Man Cat. So I kind of ran with it on my limited series television show. So I'm calling it Captain America Call to Arms.
Take the title.
And thanks, man. And it's the main character, and probably the majority of the show revolves around Steve Rogers, which is gonna once again be played by and reprised by Chris Evans with his old man makeup. But I like the idea of following a different Captain America. This is a Captain America that is not a man out of time, but a man that's gone back in time and lived through all of the decades. Put down his shield, put down the costume, lived a life with Peggy, had kids. Unfortunately, had to watch Peggy die again because he had the super serum, which gave him an elongated lifespan, and has stumbled upon a conspiracy that has made him have to once again get back into the fray. And the conspiracy that I decided that would pull Steve back in is like a precursor to Secret Invasion. So it's Skrull. And the Skrull have started in society, kind of like how Hydra did at one point, and take over heroes. And the reason why it revolves around Steve having any of the other main characters truly in it or as part of the main cast, Steve doesn't know who to trust because he doesn't know who's Skrull and who's not Skrull. And so he's not going to call on Bucky. He's not Falcon. He's got to try to figure out himself what's going on in this, what's going on, who to trust. So as far as vibe, I was thinking probably has somewhat of a spy vibe still, kind of Winter Soldier like. You probably want to have some sort of Reservoir Dogs feel or the Thing feel where you just don't really know who to. You don't know who's Skrull and who's not. As far as post-credit scenes and where it'll eventually go, is I didn't want this to be, and so I don't think you can get into truly Secret Invasion. I see this to actually getting into Secret Invasion. But for the post-credits, I thought it was cool, being that I'm starting to kind of pull into the space galactic universe with Steve. It thought it'd be a good time to maybe introduce the Silver Surfer, and kind of set up the fact that Silver Surfer is coming, or is a character in this universe. I think it ties in nicely to this. Can be a precursor to maybe Galactus eventually coming as the main villain down the road. So that's what I was thinking. But I love Steve Rogers as a character, so I was kind of excited of the idea of bringing him back, and trying to come up with a scenario on why would Steve come back.
Yeah, no, I love the idea of Steve coming back.
Yeah.
But what if we can't re-sign Chris? Do you have an older actor in mind to play?
Oh.
Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, I mean, if we could like de-age Clint Eastwood 20 years, I think he would be kind of interesting.
He would.
I thought about an older actor. It'd be hard to replace Chris Evans, I think, in that.
It would be. But I think, yeah.
You got somebody? It seems like
No,
you
I
got
don't have
somebody.
anyone in mind. I just think like it's because he's playing like such an older version of the character. I don't like he'd be 100% necessary. Like I think you can probably get somebody else that could do a good job. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure who.
Yeah. I thought about it. I thought about pulling in somebody actually older, that had been maybe like an action star at some.
Clint Eastwood,
I
was,
landed on.
Clint Eastwood was a good one.
I landed on aging up Chris Evans just because he's the guy, and so it felt odd.
Jack Palance, circa like City Slickers would be a good one.
I will say though, on the aging up thing, I know Marvel did a pretty good job with it, but I recently watched Midnight Mass on Netflix, and there were two very fucking obviously aged up characters throughout the first 3-4.
The mother is like,
oh my obvious. God, that ruined the entire show for me.
Yeah,
that bothered me so much.
Like I don't know what she's in, like her 30s maybe.
It was very clearly a 30-year-old woman talking like this the whole time.
Like an 80-year-old woman.
Yeah, that was very annoying. I'm sure Marvel can produce a better product than that, but
I thought they did a good job with Chris Evans in Endgame, but they had a very small window of time that they had to pull it off.
Yeah, and he was just chilling.
This could fall apart if it's like the entire show revolves around this.
Yeah.
So, it's an interesting question of who could do like that Chris Evans role in like an old man.
Totally.
It's
but I mean,
couldn't come
just
up
give
with
a ton of money.
than...
Just give a ton of money to Chris Evans, and you're good.
It's true.
Yeah, I think you could. Chris Evans would be, or you just wait till Chris Evans is old enough, which would be a very long time.
What about
Army Hammer?
I had one for a second. What about like a Kevin Costner?
I thought about Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
I still just felt like Chris Evans was the better pick.
He probably is. He probably
But yeah,
is.
I did think about Kevin Costner. It was like Clint Eastwood, Kevin Costner. I didn't think Harrison Ford could pull it off because it's too like, he's just too dry to be a Captain America.
Yeah. I mean,
you have anyone in mind for Skrull?
Dennis Quaid too, who's basically the same as Kevin Costner.
No, I mean Skrull. I wasn't really thinking. It would just be like the actors,
Yeah.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Good point.
Yeah, it's all about like I wanted Steve to not like the main question would have been like why isn't Steve like I didn't want those guys involved. I wanted Steve on his own. So I just figured if he didn't know that he could trust Bucky, or because they could be Skrull at that point, that he would have to work on his own.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Corey, you got any thoughts?
No, I don't think so.
Is he more kicking ass in this movie as an older Cap?
Who?
Like is older Cap like kicking ass the same as he is when he's younger Cap? Like how does older Cap?
No, absolutely not. I kind of thought of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Do you remember like Isaiah?
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking he'd be like that, where he's still got super strength, but it's kind of he's obviously older and not in his prime. But so, I also thought it'd be interesting because like personality would be different. It's not you're not taking this guy from like World War II and sticking him into the modern times. Like the guy actually saw it all now.
Yeah.
And so, like, personality-wise, he's going to be a different person, too. So, I don't know. I thought it'd be interesting. I'd be interested to watch this show. So
yeah, I'd watch it.
I almost wonder if it should be a movie.
I didn't realize movie was an option. I still think
series is definitely a good idea, but
you can kind of like you can simmer on it a little longer. You can do a little. You can make it and drag it out over.
Yeah, you can build intrigue and suspense.
Right.
But I took some big concepts where Feige was just that he couldn't deal with it in the movie. That's why I was thinking maybe precursor to Secret Invasion, like set it up. Maybe he dies. Trying to unravel the secrets.
That'd be intense. All right.
One last go for Cap.
One last ride. I mean, yeah, he goes out in a blaze of glory as an old man. I mean, that'd be cool to see on anything.
Yeah, one last time in
the movie.
One last time in the suit.
Yeah.
I think it could be cool.
Neat. All right. JP, let's hear what you got.
All right, so I went with a movie. I struggled with this a little bit, but hear me out. So I took like one of my least favorite characters to main a movie and decided to pitch a movie for that character. So I'm pitching Doctor Strange Dead of Night. I went through a lot of this, and I actually, it seems like this is what Multiverses of Madness kind of was going to be before it changed a little bit, I guess. So my characters are Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch, because obviously they fucking go together like peas in a pod. And I'm throwing in Daredevil into this because it's going to be set in New York. And it's going to center around attacks being, attacks happening at night and Doctor Strange suffering from horrible nightmares. And the villains are going to be Nightmare, which was a villain that I found because I really wanted a horror themed movie. Like I want Doctor Strange to be fucking scary. Mm-hmm. So I looked up a bunch of different things and I was thinking Mephisto, but then I was like, it's a little too heavy handed. So I found a nice little demon adversary for Doctor Strange called Nightmare. He controls people's dreams. He lives in a nightmare world. But what I was thinking is let's throw Blade in here. And let's have it. So I was doing some more stuff, and there was a Morbius run in 1992 where Nightmare takes control of Morbius and uses him to lure out Doctor Strange. So I said, let's do that with Blade. So Blade is actually the bad guy in this movie, along with a bigger bad of Nightmare. And Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, and then Daredevil will come in, and they hunt him down. Crazy shit happens. There's nightmare realms. It's going to be sort of in the vein of like a Mysterio, but absolutely frightening and scary and all that good shit. And then at the end of the movie, we could definitely hint towards a little bit of Mephisto being behind it all because he's kind of the leader of the demons. He's the devil, and Nightmare is kind of one of his subordinates or a lower one. But also introduce Ghost Rider.
There you go.
And just get this real creepy goth horror train going in the Marvel universe. Let's, get Blade in, get Ghost Rider in, bring in Mephisto, have a nice little horrific, scary superhero movie. That's my pitch.
I like it.
That's cool, and I like how you have a lot of characters. Because you definitely have more than any of us do.
I just wanted to be centered around New York. I know Blade's supposed to be British, but fuck that. Blade's from New York. The old movies are in New York. Centered around there. Have him be the bad guy. Have them save him. Bring him into the universe that way. Because he'll be a good guy at the end of the movie, or as good of a guy as Blade can possibly be, I suppose. But I like the supernatural aspect. I feel like they need to bring that into this a little bit more. Bring some demons. Bring some frightening people and shit. But
and having going horror. I mean, they haven't done that yet. I mean, I guess they're claiming Multiverse of Madness.
And they claim the first one was supposed to be horror-esque, but it really wasn't.
But it wasn't at all.
And from what I was reading, the original director of Multiverses of Madness wanted to use Nightmare in the movie. But I guess then they switched to Raimi. They decided to turn it into multiverse stuff. I guess the original draft was supposed to be Nightmare, but I want some scariness in my Marvel. I want some like seedy underbelly shit and mildly violent, frightening villains. And Nightmare's a creepy looking dude. He's very much demonic looking. And I think they could probably benefit from that kind of villain.
Neat. Yeah, another one that I'd be down with. And I like that you do it just straight up movie because everyone else was like pivoting to TV. But if you can tell the story in 2.5 hours or whatever you need, then
Yeah,
more power to you.
yeah. I think you can make it happen.
Cool. All right. And then again, thank anyone watching. Share your thoughts on all of these. Um, I will do mine now, and yeah, let me hear what you think about it. But I'm going fairly high concept with mine. Um, it's called Seven Sorcerers. So it's in the world of Doctor Strange, like with dealing with masters of the mystic arts. But we're going back in time. We're going back to the late 1500s with this one, and it's very much inspired by like the Akira Kurosawa films, specifically Seven Samurai. I mean, the title is very much a riff on it. Um, so what we'd be dealing with in this film, or sorry, in this mini series, we're going to need a mini series. Absolutely essential. We don't. Seven Samurai is a very long film, and studios do not put out movies that long nowadays. So we're going to need like a 6 episode run, like probably like 6 hour episodes or 6 50-minute episodes to cover this story. And what it's going to deal with is going to deal shortly after all the flashbacks of the Eternals. It's going to follow Cersei's character, played by Gemma Chan. She'll be living in Japan after everything that goes on during Eternals. She'll be living in that area in like a village, and at that point in time, Wenwu, the villain from Shang-Chi, played by Tony Leung, he is going to be coming with his 10 rings to destroy like the village, take over it, and everything like that. But since she is eternal and she can't interfere or anything like that, what she ends up doing is getting kind of doing a cheat or a loophole because she cares about these people in the village that she's been with for the past 50 years or whatever. She's going to get like the 7 masters of the mystic arts to come and defend the village and fight Wenwu and the 10 rings. So these characters, I don't know if there are characters in the comics that would work. Cool. If they're original characters, that's fine as well. But basically, got a bunch of heavy hitter actors that would play the 7 sorcerers, who would play these masters of the mystic arts. We got John Cho, Jamie Chung, Henry Golding, Sung Kang, Lucy Liu, Stephen Yoon, and Jackie Chan. So they would be the 7 people that are dealing with Wenwu, who is the leader of the 10 rings. And Cersei will strictly be by, but not technically interfering. And then ultimately, kind of what I'm thinking for a post credits would be taking place in like the 1950s. So it would flash forward about 400 something years or about 380 years or something like that. And you'll be in a bar in Japan, and it'll be Akira Kurosawa actually talking about the story, but he came up with a new script for the Seven Samurai movie. He's turned the big myth about these sorcerers and 10 ring creators, 10 ring guy, into a more realistic samurai type story. Like that's what it's turned into over the 400 years since this event took place. And the person who he's telling the story to in the bar is going to be Wolverine. And that will be his introduction into the MCU. And it's still like 70 years before present day MCU stuff. So basically, this event inspires the 7 Samurai and everything like that. So it's very much a high concept type of thing that it would only have some characters that have been in MCU stuff so far, but it's dealing with stuff from Eternals, dealing with stuff with the 10 Rings, and dealing with stuff with the Masters of the Mystic Arts as well. So it's kind of combining stuff from a few different series into one original property.
Now, here's the most controversial part of your pitch.
Yeah.
Who's Wolverine?
That I didn't think of. Yeah, that I did not think of yet. We've talked about our thoughts on who should play Wolverine next, but I couldn't remember who like some of those people were. I don't know. Do you bring Hugh back?
No,
You probably
no,
don't.
Hugh goes away
Yeah.
forever. Put Hugh
So
in a
yeah,
box and throw him away.
yeah. You got to go with someone new. So yeah, I don't know. And it would be like the character. It would be like a Canadian, like or somebody who can play Canadian. It would just be like just because it's in Japan or whatever doesn't mean we're not gonna have a Japanese actor as Wolverine. It would be like the fact that the character eventually went to Japan, like in the Wolverine movie and in the comics and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not sure who would play Wolverine. Someone shorter than Hugh Jackman. I'd have to
Going
think about
short,
that.
huh? Okay, like
Shorter.
actual comic.
Yeah, try to be a
Wolverine's
little
a shorter
more.
guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, but yeah,
What
Sounds
about
fun.
people like Tom Hardy? Don't they?
he's,
Some
yeah, he's
people might.
he's Venom. He's already in the MCU like
Yeah.
that.
But he's 5'9", so he's getting there.
Shit, Tom Hardy's
I-
5'9".
Yeah.
Yikes.
So, who would you want to direct this series, Murph? Because it's, a very focused, stylistic genre type of thing. So, who would you want to do this epic kung fu?
Ultimately, I'd want somebody who's directed television. I wouldn't want like some big name director to come in and do it. But yeah, somebody who's definitely dealt with martial arts films and stuff like that, or not even necessarily martial arts, has dealt with that.
Cobra Kai's director.
Yeah, right. Yeah, as long as they can do some kick-ass action, they're good to go. Maybe someone who's done Thrones or something like that.
You wouldn't want like Quentin Tarantino to do his show debut and
Nah, he'd be too
MCU debut.
It'd be way too distracting. But
Too
yeah,
much
I see where you're getting at. It'd be
Can you
getting way too meta. Right? Like if you get like him involved.
It should have a kung fu vibe, though. I think.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
it would have to have a kung fu vibe to an extent. With
The sorcerer should have like some sort of like.
yes, and we already know how the Wenwu fights and everything like that.
Yeah.
But
You got Jackie. So Jackie can help with the choreography.
I don't know. Maybe all right. If I did go with a big name, maybe based on Matrix.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't go with a big name. But someone who can do similar type of work.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what I pictured when you said the ending about how the Seven Samurai story gets told and the movie gets made?
Uh-huh.
It reminded me of like Back to the Future with Chuck.
Yeah.
This is your cousin Marvin Berry.
Yeah. Only in this, there's no time travel. It would just be like a legend, a legend being passed over the years. But it was cool. Like the time periods, like all work together. Like Cersei, like the flashbacks in Eternals end in the Seven Samurai takes place in the late 1500s. And then if you went to the 1900s, mid 1900s, already like Logan is already Wolverine and everything like that. So like that would work if he actually like had a conversation before the Seven Samurai came out. So yeah, I was trying to like put a lot of puzzles together in order to make this work. But, yeah, it would be very similar. Seven Samurai, like a couple of the samurai or a couple of the sorcerers die and everything like that. Higher stakes. It would be a one-off and everything like that.
Yeah, sounds fun.
And it brings back characters who like it brings back the villain in Shang-Chi who can't be in future Shang-Chi movies. By doing a flashback, it's a way to bring back a character that was well received. So yeah. All right. Yeah, those are our 4 movies or our 4 pieces of content. We got Are They Worthy, which will be a series. Captain America Call to Arms, which will be a miniseries. Dead of Night, which would be a film, and Seven Sorcerers, which would be a miniseries or limited series. So yeah, comment. Let us know what you think about all these. If you'd see them, if you would recommend them to Kevin Feige, if you ever run into him in the street and can pitch our concept and take all our money. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
All right. But yeah, thank you again for everyone for listening. On our next installment, we'll be discussing movie 3 in our Live Breathe Film Club. Film is spectacular now. It is on Showtime anytime. When we drafted this, when I picked this movie last Monday, it was a very different situation with joking about a Shailene Woodley, dedicating it to the Packers. But we'll still trudge through the film. Got plenty of people that we like: Bob Odenkirk, Kyle Chandler, bunch of other people, and yeah, we'll talk about it in our next episode. And the reason why we was it was one of our biggest listeners, one of the films that she recommended throughout our yearly film series, and it was one that the four of us hadn't seen. So yeah, watch it and join the conversation with us on our next episode. Anything else, guys?
That's all I
No,
got.
I think I'm good.
All right. Then, as always, this has been Corey, Doug, JP, and Murph at Live Breathe Film. We'll see you again next time, movie lovers.
Bye.